Horse Battle, which is one of the most underused gaming mechanics in the history of gaming mechanics. Like I can see why it's a lot easier to just like have all the battles be more ground oriented. Cause horses, I don't know, maybe they're just hard to program because I struggle just to find 6 examples of horse or horse battles where like the main character uses like a horse to fight in a way that's like remotely like tolerable or whatever.
Yeah.
So like playable that is. But which is funny considering that that most of the video games, especially the fantasy ones, take place during medieval times, and horses were used in battles all the way up to World War I. So the fact that they're not being used in like your little medieval fantasy, the horse, that's just like a breaking in immersion. So yeah, like at first I wanted to mention Roche from like The Witcher. Like even in the TV show, that like the does it like you don't use the horse in battle. They don't use the horse in battle at all. It's like feasible. I mean, I remember the first couple of times I played The Witcher that using the Roche in battle was doable. It was especially useful when fighting the little human, the little human bag. You know, you just ride on the horse and like chop off their neck. You know. So the whole thing that Wolf wasn't useful. I mean, obviously you can't use him in the city or cramped areas, okay, but he was usable at least 50% of the time. You know.
And part of the reason why he was implemented well and what we talk about him first is because he was unreliable as a horse. There were a bunch of places where he just couldn't reach, and it makes sense within the confine of the game why the horse was unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, in medieval times were just like little narrow pathways, and of course the horse can like make it. And I also like that little mention in the expansion part where like they made the horse talk, and it was like in the Witcher I said, like, how do you can like I'm sorry for leaving you in like the most weird random places, and how do you like teleport everywhere? And they be like, oh, I try my best because if you leave like the horse in like Skelliger and then you like go to the Blood and Wine DLC, if you wait so he magically appears there. But yeah, that's just fantasy horse mambo jumbo. Alright, next horse that was implemented more or less decent. Like this is the horse from like the Ghost of Tsushima. He doesn't have a name because you can name him. And it's interesting because you find the Mongols were famous for like their tiny little horses. Like remember the movie Mulan, the Disney one, like the one that not the new one that has issues, but the old one that also have issues. Like the Mongols, they were using the proper tiny horse from the Mongols. So
Even though they were fighting the Huns.
Even though they were fighting the Huns. Well, the point is that the horses that the Mongols are using in Ghost of Tsushima, they're a little too big. They're supposed to be small. And plus, every time you challenge it to a duel, the Mongols get off the horse. No, the Mongols were famous for like killing their enemy on horseback. And they wouldn't accept the duel. They would just pellet you with arrows while circling around you on horseback because they were famous for being able to ride on horseback and then shoot you with an arrow. So all of the assholes all of the Mongols, all of the archers. I didn't call them the other thing. All of the archers. My English is weird.
Okay.
All of the archers, don't laugh, were supposed to fight. They are supposed to be on horseback, shooting you with perfect accuracy while they circle around you while you drop dead. So they will be the ones that you have to stealth kill all the time. So yeah, like they didn't do the Mongol horsings properly. Like if you're gonna do Mongols with horses, do them historically. If you're gonna go for historical accuracy, go for historical accuracy. Yeah, Mongols, horseback, archers, perfect accuracy. Pew pew pew. Tiny horses pelleting you with arrows.
Oh, and it was also one Mongol, 6 horses. They would like swap around between horses. Like
yeah.
they were all about horses, yet horses are completely underused in the game.
Well, I guess that they couldn't take that many horses because of like the ocean and whatever. I mean, I'll buy that much, but I won't buy the fact that the horses are too big, and I don't buy the fact that the archers are not on horseback shooting you with arrows, because that was the whole thing. That's how they conquer like all of Asia.
And also Europe.
And also part of Europe.
Oh, and the catapults. They were really, really good at siege weapons.
Yeah, so
and they were good at siege weapons before Marco Polo. The book Marco Polo's a huge slide.
Yeah, just whitewashing of history, literally.
Yeah, he came there and he taught the Mongols how to do catapults. No, the Mongols knew catapults 300 years before Marco Polo even made it there.
Yeah.
But he's like, no.
Well, Marco Polo wrote that while he was in prison, so I think he was just bragging to his prison buddies about the adventures he never had.
Like, I don't buy Marco Polo and his lies.
Yeah. Alright, moving along. Like, this next one is more of a fantasy horse. It's the Shadowmere from Skyrim, which is the strongest horse that you can get in Skyrim. Well, that one and a weird zombie horse, but I never got the other zombie horse. I'm only familiar with Shadowmere, which you get from like when you join the Assassin's Creed people. I mean Assassin's Guild. It's the same thing. I said that who also hear weird voices and like they gotta do sketchy things for sketchy people. Whatever. Like the only gimmick of that horse is that it had like high regeneration and that and high HP count, but like he still moves like all of the other horses and like in Skyrim I don't even know like most of the horse in Skyrim is more of a gimmick than anything, but you can jump up the mountains better on horseback. But around turning that horse is gonna break its leg and you're gonna fall off the mountain while on horseback. So, it's like, and also like, well, fighting on a horse, if you try to like do some archery thing, you have to, the horse immediately stops running, but, like humans have been able to shoot arrows from a moving horse since like the time of the Mongols. I mean, that's hard, but not impossible. And even like the Europeans and whatnot could like eventually learn how to shoot arrows while on horseback, so why is that mechanic? But yeah, also like the horses in Skyrim, you can actually end up running faster than the horse in Skyrim. So like, what's the point? Moving along. Like the next horse I want to talk about is Thorin from Elden Ring. Well, he has horns, so it's more of a dual unicorn, twinicorn.
He has like gold.
It's a cross between a horse and a gold, but I still count it as a horse. But yeah, fantasy horse.
Except that he doesn't show up in any of the bosses where he should.
Yeah, like he should have been useful. He would have been greatly useful against Bailey, and especially if they let you use the horse against the final boss, the Elden Beast, because most of the difficulty of fighting the final boss in Elden Ring is that he keeps like running halfway across the screen and then he just starts spamming projectiles at you from like a mile away, and then you gotta like run this way, and then you get a couple of hits in there, he swims underwater, and then he shows up halfway across the screen.
No, I am betting that boss was originally designed to be fought on horseback because his weak spot is at the same height as where it would be if you were on horseback, and also he moves at a speed that can be easily matched with a horse. So it feels like they wanted to make a horseback final boss, and then they just didn't.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of bosses that are like that in the DLC as well, where it makes sense to fight them on horseback, but you don't.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, another thing that's a little bit gimmicky with Thorin is that whenever I'm like charging a spell, the horse immediately stops running. And that leaves you wide open for that. But again, with the Mongols, it's like, why do you need to like, why do you need to like stop running every time you gotta like use your staff and whatever? If like the Mongols can like shoot arrows while I'm on horseback, why can't I just spam my spells while the horse charges at full sprint? It will make like being a magic. I mean, heck, even the boss that I got the magical arrow from, she runs at full sprint. Her horse doesn't stop whenever she's about to pellet me with magic. And well, the gravity guy don't stop, but not the other gravity guy. The gravity guy that's small, not Radan, who's also on horseback. See, he can run. He can sit on his tiny horse and shoot me with arrows. But you know.
Radan was ridiculous. He was a ridiculous boss.
Yeah, but he does fight. But he does fight like a Mongol. Giant guy on tiny horseback, shooting arrows. That's the Mongol way of fighting.
Next one.
Alright, next one. And next one again. Alright, the last one is more of horses but in like tactical RPGs. The only thing that you get is that like extra mobility, or you can like fly over them if your horse is more of a Pegasus. Like I get why it would be difficult to have horses in like active RPG, but like what's stopping them from having horses in like turn-based RPGs? I mean, like just give them an extra mobility or faster speed. You know, like cavalries have been a part of all types of armies since the
Till World War One, and even now
when like tanks made them obsolete. But like, yeah, horses in most video games, they're like completely underused. Even though they have been used in like history, in literally most of the armed conflicts until World War One happened. So, yeah. If you're like a video game maker, I put more horses in your game if you want to add a little bit of reality into it. God bless.
No, you forgot.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the Legend of Zelda horse. The reason why I so forgettable is because I don't remember using the horse half the time. I mean, we used it at Calamity Ganon in the final boss where you run a full sprint while you're shooting him with a magical arrow. See, that horse doesn't stop whenever you start using your magical arrow. So you hear that from somewhere? Don't stop stopping me whenever I'm trying to use magic on my horseback. Makes it very difficult for me to dodge.
Like if you Calamity Ganon fought, like you fight the boss the same way that you should have been able to fight the Elden Beast.
Yeah, like on horseback. While you break the distance, it would have made it super heavy. You know, one boss you fight it off the horse, the
Micaela and
her hammer form, her guy form, and then not Micaela, it's Marika.
Yeah. In Spanish, the name means
it means gay. Marika means gay in Spanish, in Cuban Spanish, which is different from the other Spanish. Moving along. So yeah, like. The horse in when we played the rest of the world, I don't remember. Most of the time you were like going up and down mountains, and I don't remember using the horse half the time. And
well, you have to use it in another boss, in the lightning one. That.
Oh yeah, but how if I remember? Don't you think it was so underused, and you get it very late in the game that I just don't remember using the horse that much. So yeah, but at least Link shows up with his horse since like the Nintendo 64 era. So you know, like horses used to be more common back then. So yeah, bring the horse back
And code them well.
And code them well, or at least have these. I mean, like the pieces are there, you know, like whatever. I just wish there were more horses.
Oh yeah, and here's an idea. Instead of doing a double jumping horse, just make the horse jump a little higher.
Yeah, well, people have been like the double jump became a video game staple since like Capcom and Mega Man Zero, and now everything has to double jump, whether it makes sense or not. Like seriously, how do you double jump? Like you jump off your other leg to get some extra height?
Well, in Devil May Cry, they do have an explanation. He summons a platform and then jumps from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you know, like, I guess maybe Torren also does that as well. Whatever.
Okay,
double jumping horses makes no freaking sense.
And in Hollow Knight, when he double jumps, he just gets wings. It's not really a double jump.
Yeah, he just like flaps his wings to get a little bit of extra height. So yeah, double jumping horses, hilarious. Okay, now we're officially done with all of the horses. There were 6. We saw 6, but Aaron got blessed. Hope you have fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we had all the time in